Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs...
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
The rural way of life is about making everyone feel at home. Tractor Supply chose advanced 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business to transform intelligent customer service. Together, we put the power of AI to work across 2,200 stores, keeping things running seamlessly inside, curbside, and countryside. This is elevated customer experience. This is Tractor Supply with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
It's time for another scintillating episode of
Eejits of the World!
With you, Glenn Mull.
And you, Andrew Maxwell.
That's just one of our sharpest starts yet.
Yeah.
And what a cornucopia. A heaven-sent complimentary basket of Eejits we have for you this week. This week on episode 20 of Eejits of the World, we have...
Defectors to North Korea!
We have hearses on football pitches.
We got gimps in court.
And finally, we have the Irish far right and their hidden gold.
Dun, dun, dun! Stay tuned.
Right then, where shall we begin?
Well,
What Egypt do you have for us?
It's one Egypt, but it's unlocked a level of Egypts I didn't even know were a thing. But there was a military man in South Korea who was he was going to be kicked out of the army because he was caught beating up Koreans, and he was saying things bad about Koreans, and he didn't.
He's an American.
He's an American.
An American soldier.
Stationed in Korea.
Yeah. Being not great.
Finds he does not like Koreans and has and does some stupid things. It was hard. They weren't clear about what he was doing, but it was anti-Korean rhetoric that they were like, well, this ain't the right spot for you.
Bad fun. If you're not into Koreans, Korea's a shit place.
No,
You're going to find that Koreatown goes on way off into the distance.
Yeah.
This is like a whole peninsula of a Koreatown.
So they're gonna send him home, which is that's how you should do it. He pulls a bamboozle on them. There's a passport problem, and he can't get on the plane. And then he slips the guard. He doesn't. They don't know where he's gone. He ends up in a tour group going to the demilitarized zone. There's like a
Which
little...
we've all seen that bit where you've got the stiff as a board North Korean soldiers one way of a random line in the sand.
And two gigantic flagpoles, one with the South Korean and one with the North Korean flag, because they started out as regular sized flagpoles, but then one side built theirs a little bit taller, so then they would come back, and now like it is ridiculous. It looks like something out of Dr. Seuss. There's these two giant flagpoles from the snorks that couldn't snort and the snorts who couldn't snork. They're just constantly building these flags up. So this is where he goes into a tourist group. And he gets right close to the border and apparently let out a gigantic laugh and ran across the border.
Wow.
And,
into North Korea.
Yeah, which has also got a lot of Koreans in it.
Sure. And if anything, more insular Koreans.
Yeah. Anything you didn't like about South Koreans, I don't know that it's
going to be less. I don't think North Korea is less Korean.
No, it's a little more Korea-y, I'd imagine.
I'd imagine, yeah. It's like, a cup of tea without any milk in it is going to be more tea-ish
Yeah.
And, North Koreans pretty much isolated from the rest of the world. That's going to be some serious Koreanism.
Yeah, and they're
But
going
more importantly, this guy, he was going to be court-martialed. He was going to be sent. His name's Travis King. Which
Travis King.
Sounds like a made-up name.
Yeah.
Seriously made up. But he was going to flee. He was going to be sent back to America to, be court-martialed. Whatever he was going to do in Stockade or whatever, in American military prison, whatever. And his answer is to escape into a country that's all a prison. Into a country that still has famines. Now, as defecting goes, there's a basic rule of thumb. Defect away from the famine.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's thinking like it's a black hole. Like, let's just steer into it and see what happens.
Fucking madness. It's madness. Yeah, he let out a hoot of laughter. Like
even that as a plan is like, just keep your laughs to yourself. Like, it's not that funny.
I don't think this is the great gotcha you thought it would be. I'm now a captured slave of the enemy. In your face, people used to employ me.
Yeah, take that, Obama.
Yeah, I blame Obamacare somehow for this.
But
wow.
In reading up on this,
there's a few of them.
It's been going on since the 60s.
Yeah.
And there's been, during the Korean War, there was 4 guys, and the one guy who really stands out, I forgot to write his name down.
Don't you worry, I wrote his fucking name
did you? Well, okay, tell me his real name.
His real name was James Dresnuk. He's still around. He's still around. They call him Comrade Joe, and he ran through a minefield in 1962 to get to North Korea and join the North Korean side.
Yeah.
That's love. I don't know. You love your wife. I love my wife. I also love your wife. Yeah. I hope you love my wife.
We love our wives.
We love our wives. But would you run through a minefield? Can we just carry the rest of them? You know what I mean?
She's been in certain moods that I might run away through a minefield.
But you know what I mean? If a minefield was set up between you and your dearly beloved, you could continue a marriage on FaceTime, couldn't you?
Oh yeah.
There's no need to lose
loving looks over the minefield. My princess.
Don't need to lose a leg, do I?
No.
To get a quick cuddle after the kids have gone to bed.
So he shows up in Korea, and North Korea. They're initially suspicious of him, but then they grow to like him because they see that he's there and he wants to be a part of the solution. And one of those
the solution North Korean style, which is obviously making most of your people die of famines.
But making some propaganda movies too, which he got cast in. Mm-hmm. Which you'd hope you got the part of evil American in North America. Like, you're lining up against 3 guys in bad makeup. You're come on, and you don't hear much of it. Like there's been some horrific examples all the way through Hollywood of whiteface of. White people, European Americans dressing up as East Asian people. Yes.
Or even Central Asian. Obviously, have you ever seen the greatest example of that? John Wayne.
As Genghis Khan.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Scotch tape.
John
Wayne and Scotch tape.
As Genghis
Khan. He couldn't even play white people convincingly.
Fucking ridiculous. So odd. I would just love to not know. And I've seen the movie; it's truly risible. But I'd love to know who approached who. Did John, I would imagine, got liquored up and was like, get are you telling me?
Give me the director on the horn. Big Marion's got another idea.
Big Marion.
That's his real name.
Marion Morrison. Yeah.
Morrison.
Marion Morrison. Yeah.
So yeah, he had girls'
So-
names, so he took two boys' names as his real name.
So John, Comrade Joe Dressnook, he gets the part going. You got to tell him this is the best bit.
This is why you can tell he got to name his own character because his character's name was Arthur Cockstud.
I mean, I've heard of some porn names on the nose, but like Arthur Cockstud,
A Cockstud,
who, by the way, is the baddie. He's the American villain in all the North Korean propaganda movies.
Yeah.
He's playing an American army officer. Go, Arthur Cockstud, I'm here to repress you, people's here. Wow! Want to live in a socialist paradise, do you? Now you're gonna have to deal with Arthur Cockstud. I'm an old-timey bad guy. Yeah. I'm gonna run you down with my 7.5 inches of capitalist penis. He was in loads of movies.
Oh yeah.
Like, it wasn't just a one-off. Well, you know, people in Britain were watching Carry-On movies, seeing Babs Windsor get her knockers out.
Yeah.
They were watching Arthur Cockstud.
Yeah, and there was 3 other Americans that had defected, and they were all in the movies together. And they were trying to entice other Americans over the border. They were like, they would, with bullhorns, they'd call to them like,
Guys,
yeah,
it's pretty amazing over here.
who wants to be in pictures?
You want to be a star? You get to choose your own name. Here's a list that are be made available by the Communist Republic of North Korea. Big Balls McGinty. And you want to take that one. Solomon Schlong is also available.
Jacob Fuckalot.
Sir Jacob Fuckalot.
Yeah, from the SAS.
Mix-a-Lot's grandfather. Arthur Cockstud.
I would like to see these movies. Like, are these guys bad actors and it just doesn't matter? Or are they putting it in? They putting in the effort?
Yeah,
Like,
really researching their roles.
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be willing to watch them in case it, tantalized me to move to North Korea. Like,
Yeah, like they've got something in it that it's like TikTok. Like,
No,
the
just-
Chinese won't watch it.
no, just finally,
watch it.
Yeah, you watch it. Finally, the final piece falls on. Marxism. But isolated, crazy, inherited Marxist dictator. Yes. Interested? Crazy. The North Koreans used to steal people in submarines.
Yeah, well,
The people weren't in the submarine and they stole them. They would pop
yeah,
up.
that's a terrible place to steal people from. Yeah, you get them up to the top and then, uh-oh. Did she look like that down? No, we wouldn't have took her if she looked inside out.
Yeah, it's a terrible place for a whodunit. A submarine. Very hard to dispose of a body. Yeah. So hard.
I suppose if it was a fart, then yeah, it's a great place for a whodunit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, you're very welcome on the submarine, but we won't be eating any of your people's food until we go back up, okay? Submarines were built originally by the men of stodgy Northern European food.
Yeah. You cannot have kimchi on here. That is a cabbage-based dish, please.
It's drunken cabbage. It's fermented cabbage.
I know.
Delicious, though.
Well, not on a submarine. Can you imagine if your roommate just first day pulls out a huge jar of kimchi? Every night, right before bed, I like to have a good 9 slurps of this thing. then that was the start of the whodunit.
That's the start of the kidnapping new people. Well, there you go. Jesus. So we'll never see him again unless he pops up in a movie.
No. They have not warmed to the other because it happens every few years. More people they tend to trade them back when they want to talk to America.
Yeah,
and they go, okay, well, we'll give you this guy back. But I mean, remember Otto Warmbier?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he didn't come back. Well, he
came back in a box, poor fucker.
He
died,
well, and his teeth had been rearranged, and very odd.
I think what he did, he was I think a student, and he had stolen some propaganda.
He tried to steal a poster.
It's obviously a punishable by death offence
in
the world's most evil dictatorship.
Yeah,
I mean, I also say, as somebody has performed at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival 20 years, it should be a death penalty. Those things cost a lot of money.
Remember when...
you're doing the Edinburgh Fringe Festival this year, aren't you?
Yes, I am, Andrew. 8:15 at the Beehive every night.
That's down at the end, the castle end of the Grassmarket, isn't it?
It sure is.
God, that's a great venue.
It very
what
much
time
is.
are you doing that?
That's 8:15.
That's a great time.
8:15. Anybody out there?
What the hell is it called? You've got to have a name for the show, do you?
It's called Tardigrade's Picnic.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's just, it's showbiz.
Well, there you go. I wish all the defectors of the world all the very best. But as a rule, I would say defect towards the money and freedom.
Yeah. You'll notice it was really easy to defect there because nobody was ready for you. That's how you know. Maybe I guess be a visionary.
Yeah, be a cockstud wherever you like.
Yeah. I don't think they're still making the movies though. If you think that's, I'm sure.
I think they're still...
sure that if this story gets out and it hits LA, there'll be a few unemployed actors going, well, I think
break the strike. But I love to perform.
I've been in the minefield of Los Angeles producers. I've ran through that minefield.
Exactly. As a triple threat, what am I supposed to do? Sit around all day like you.
You do a lot of cane tapping when you go across the minefield, right?
Just in semicircles.
All right. Well, we salute you, defectors, and
we wish you all the very best, you kooky bastards.
Yeah. We're looking forward to the movie.
Oh, this is. I would like to bring this selection of Eejits to the table.
Please do.
There are some people who have been arrested.
Good.
For a fracas. You like a fracas, don't you?
Everyone does.
Yeah.
They say they don't, but nobody ever switches the news off. Like, there's just some sort of fracas on the news, and I don't want to see it.
Everybody likes a fracas or a melee. Mm-hmm. Which you prefer, fracas or a melee?
I'd say a fracas is better. Like a melee is a smaller fracas.
Oh, is that what you think it is? Mm-hmm. That's like champagne bottle sizes.
Yeah.
You say a fracas is bigger than a melee. Mm-hmm. Where would you put a bit of argy-bargy? Is that smaller again or bigger again?
That's bigger, and then the bottom layer, the unseen hand, is hooliganism.
Or just a general push and shove?
Yeah.
It's a set two.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this was definitely a fracas, I can tell you that, because people were arrested. It's a lower league football match, soccer match in Gateshead.
Okay.
Which is basically Newcastle, but it's one of that. There's
still not an arrestable offence yet.
How
bad were they in football?
I don't know. It sounds like Braden season, like. So far, all you've told me is football, Newcastle, Geordies, and something arrestable. Could have been anything.
Yeah, I can see you've got all the ingredients for an arrest there. I just don't know what they actually did yet.
Exactly. You know, it's like baking a cake. It's how much time was involved, how much white powder was involved. You know. So this is a football game.
Okay.
Gateshead, Dunstan. Sort of. There's a lot of, for those people who don't know, there's a lot of British cities. There are one city, but there's a river runs through it, and one side of the river isn't technically part of that city, but anybody who's not from that city can literally tell none of it apart. But the people from the other bit, the other side of the river, are very, very insistent that they're in fact not that city.
Yeah.
Right? So this is Gateshead.
It's powered on that conflict. That's why British football's so good. Because they make a city hate itself on 3 p.m. every Saturday.
Exactly.
And then they sort of suck that energy into a competition, and
that's why the Saudis have bought them.
Yeah.
The Saudis thought there's not enough conflict in our region. Where can we invest in some drunken violence?
Yeah.
Welcome to the tune. So, anyway, so Gateshead, Dunstan, on the south side of the River Tyne.
Yeah.
Is very to the outside world. It's Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very lower league football game.
Yeah.
It's still terracing. There's still people going along to see it. I'm sure they have songs. Oh, you know.
For the love of the game at that point too. Yeah, there were some real fans.
Real
are
fans.
gonna enjoy this, and some really, really poor people too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. They and next thing a hearse drives out onto the pitch and starts pulling, full on donuts. Tears the pitch apart, and another car, an SUV, and two cars just start doing donuts in the middle of the pitch. A hearse that has a dead person in it.
At that point, does the crowd have to honor the fact that there is a hearse? Like, still take their hats off?
I mean, the mascot has to bow its head. whatever the Gateshead mascot is, just a giant cheerful...
Herman the Wiener! Come on, let's bring Herman back.
It's Bobby the Brew Nail Bottle. A giant brew nail bottle with his head slightly tipped down, commemorating the loss of whoever this crazy bastard is, who's torn the pitch apart.
Yeah.
And these, by the way, they've arrested 3 people for it: 2 19-year-olds and a 32-year-old.
Wow.
This is 19-year-old, and obviously they haven't arrested the dead.
Yeah.
But there was nothing else.
Have they checked his nose with the mirror? Because it went away to get away with it.
Let's put some pennies over his eyes.
He's now won the bet. Like, I bet you, like it's in a pub, I could do donuts on the football pitch in my car and not get arrested. No, £3,000, sir.
It's in Newcastle. It's £3 billion. But I don't understand. It didn't say in the news whether were they fans of the team or enemies of the team.
Yeah.
You know, because it happens a lot at major football grounds, people rushing on past, where once it used to be streakers. Now it's people throwing their relatives' ashes onto the hallowed turf of their favourite sporting team.
Yeah, they have to make announcements about that now.
Yeah. Please stop scattering your uncle Kevin's ashes on the pitch. That's what he wanted, like. Aye, but the cigarette ashes. Don't just tip out his ashtray. You gotta wait till your uncle Kevin is dead, and then there's gotta be his ashes.
Sorry, I misread that.
It's big. It's like, you know.
Yeah. Well, our friend Barry, he tried to get his dad onto Tottenham's pitch.
Yeah.
And they had to.
The old White Hart Lane.
Yeah, they had to run subterfuge. His brother had to like cause a ruckus that the security and it was on the it wasn't during the game. It was like when you go, would you like to see the stadium? And apparently they're kind of wise to it now too. But yeah his brother pulled an alarm and so whatever. They all ran there, and he had to run up to the pitch. But then they were like, and they chasing him around. But they got him. They got him onto the pitch. But it's not doable anymore.
No. Thank you once again, Just Stop Oil.
Yeah.
You've ruined another one of Britain's great traditions of against other people's wishes, throwing your relatives all over a pig. So I've no idea, like, whether this was an act of love. I mean, presumably, like the news story was so. You just see the footage of them doing donuts in the hearse. Is this what the person the deceased wanted? And did they want it because they loved the team, or they hated the team? Or did they hate the deceased and the deceased didn't want it? Or did they not even know? Because you're never going to expect when a hearse shows up at a sporting event. You know what I mean? I think at this stage we've seen enough Just Stop Oil that we know if some privately educated people show up at a sporting event, they're going to fuck some orange shit everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're about to fuck orange shit. These people don't care about Gillingham FC. the classic violent clash between the Gills and Millwall.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see Just Stop Oil at the lower leagues. I think you might see Just Stop Oil at a Premiership match or somewhere where they've got enough people that will protect them. But if you tied yourself to the goalpost like a Gillingham League Cup match, oh my Lord, they kept playing and then...
Oh no, we're going to keep playing, cunt. Right.
Yeah, they were using them to warm up on, just booting them. Yeah, just get your kicking leg ready there.
Get your eye in. Global warming, it's fucking freezing here. What's wrong with you?
The things that mascot did to him.
Do you know this?
I can see why those mascots stand in shame now.
Gillingham's mascot. Just a geezer in a boiler suit.
with a big Keith Richards head on him.
Keith Richards.
Keithy.
Yeah, our mascot is actually Keith Richards.
Yeah, it's Keith Richards in a Keith Richards suit.
I suppose Keith Richards and Mick Jagger would be the nearest celebrities to Gillingham.
Yeah.
They would, yeah.
Yeah.
Keith. He's just called Keith. He doesn't move around a lot.
No, it's a two-headed mascot called Mick and Keith. You're never quite sure which one's got the actual human head in it, and that's how he doesn't get punched all the time, because sometimes there's nobody in that head.
Half-time show's amazing. What happens is Keith the mascot comes out and shins up a coconut tree. Inflatable one. If he gets to the top, everybody cheers. Never makes it though, because he's still at it. He's still at it. You're still at it.
Well,
trust
me.
me.
Some age you just gotta keep going. His nose ain't getting any smaller.
No. I mean, it'd be a shock to the system if I stopped now. Weird. Actually, that's the voice you expect Keith Richards to have, but actually it's quite posh and rattled and he sounds like...
Well, he hasn't been living in Gillingham. He's been on some big estate somewhere. Yeah. Just, it may be if he talked to the help, he might keep his accent, but he's not going to do that all the time.
Sorry about all the clean-up this morning. That's all right, Keith. Got a big game on Saturday, ain't you? Yeah. It's so great. And that's the sound of Keith the mascot coming out on the bench. Here he comes. It's so hard to tell whether is that his real head,
Yeah,
or is that a mascot head? They're both very misshapen.
Somehow, the foam head seems smaller than his real head.
Yeah. Both are filled with mystery white stuff. Alright, have a good game, boys. Yeah, well, that's the passion that low-level English football produces
Yeah.
in people on this particular island.
Yeah, and again, I'm like you. I don't know why they did it, but just the fact that whoever lived beside that pitch had to see a hearse pull up at halftime. Go, ooh, there've been some pretty rough tackles there in the first half. Yeah, well, good thing they stopped the game.
I really got stuck in, like. Just played around them.
Yeah, well, it must have been one of those just stop oil things. They tried to protest. Okay, well that's why there's a hearse pulling up.
Right on, mate. Here you come. Orange. You know that's the colour of our arch rival team.
Yeah, they didn't even piece together that it was a protest.
No. I don't think there's going to be any just stop oil people protesting in West Belfast anytime soon. Guys, we're just going to disturb your Gaelic football game here in the Falls Road by throwing orange everywhere. Yeah. I am all ears. You wouldn't know it because I've got a balaclava on, but I am all ears, mate. I am fascinated to know what you want to do with hydrocarbons. Because I want to stick them into Belfast's last milk bottle and fuck it at your head.
Try and stop that oil.
Know what I mean? I have been saving up this particular vintage milk bottle for one last hurrah, if you know what I mean.
Guys, we need to be very familiar with the hurling stick by the end of this protest.
Right? I am fascinated to hear what you've got to say. I've always thought the upper class English are the solution to the problem.
When you talk to the X-ray technician, make sure you remember it's a hurling stick.
That's it.
He
It was a
think
hurl.
it's your spine, but
That's right. That weird curvature is the top of the hurl. Tell you you're not a hunchback. You're just part Catholic sporting equipment now. All organic though. Ash, yeah, very sustainable. Very sustainable. Ash, you'll find. Yeah, very sustainable. Oh, there you go. Well, I wish you all the very best, whatever your sporting fracas was all about.
yeah.
Gentlemen of the
I
Northeast.
salute you. You are Eejits. You need to be arrested, but fuck, if you gotta go down, that was funny. You gotta give it to him.
I mean, it's probably the people who come along to actually see a game, you've ruined their day.
Yeah, but you've given him a story. You've ruined their day, but you gave him a story.
That's right.
Can you imagine if they tried to tell you the story of just that game? Like, there was a ball.
Half time it was 0-0, and then it started raining. Second half, the fuse went on the back of the machine that keeps the pies warm. So the pies were getting gelatinous and cold.
Oh no!
In the rain. And another 45 minutes of scintillating nothing happened.
Yeah. You thought they were lumping it forward when it wasn't raining.
It was all long ball. But the thing is, a lot of the fellas around here are quite stunted. So they were playing for long ball, but it was still only a medium length ball. Like.
Yeah. So we salute you on every level. You brightened our days.
Yes, you've ruined other people's day, but not for us. Now that is the sporting spirit of low-level football. Now years, finally assimilation has happened there, Mr. Wall.
Yeah, I feel a part of everything. It was very Buddhist. That fuck 'em.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
The game was going to be shit anyway.
They sent me my passport after that.
Just in the post.
He's one of us.
Yeah. We got your picture off the internet. Just thought you're going to need this. You're a real miserable cunt now.
Hey, put some beans on it. Whatever you do, put some beans on it.
Throw some beans on it. And if they're your enemy, stick some Branston beans on it. Go cheap. They'll never know.
Yeah. And you know what you say? Fuck 'em.
Fuck 'em. Well, moving on. What else have we got? What other Eejits have excelled?
Well, this is a chap who he's almost made it in a few times, but he's the gimp of he's dressed as a gimp. He's in the West Country, I believe.
Right.
And they were having trouble catching him. He was just, but he wasn't technically doing anything wrong. But he was dressed as a gimp and he was scaring people. So they finally caught him. And which is good, and they figured out what to charge him with. It seems like a new law of some sort, like sexual menace. So you didn't technically do anything, but you're fucking weird, and it's creeping the chicks out. So fuck you, stop it.
Right. This is in Somerset, I believe.
Somerset.
This beautiful Somerset villages. A man walking around dressed head to toe as a gimp.
At night, though. Yeah, like it was harder.
He's not one of those.
The day gimp was caught very quickly.
He wasn't a gentleman gimp. Oh, yes. He was a gentleman, that gimp. He only did his gimping in the daytime. From 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon in the winter months, of course. To 9 to 9 in the high summer. Only a daytime gimp. A gentleman gimp he was. Fucking any of that, like, look, do whatever rings your bell, right? But I find an awful lot of the S&M stuff just like fucking grow up.
Yeah.
I was years ago going to this rave at a house party in Kentish Town in North London, and we were all flying, like everybody was out with their noodle on something or other. Nobody was complete, nobody could drive a hearse across the football pitch. Everybody was noodled in one way or another.
Yeah.
And it was a really nice scene. Everybody was really, really nice. I mean, granted, I think most people were on the really, really nice drugs to make them really, really nice. I don't know what they were like in traffic. But they were all... except there was a gimp. Yeah. It was just like, fuck it. In every room the gimp came into, everybody was just like... And the gimp kept just gimping around, pretending like it was perfectly normal to be a fucking gimp. You passive-aggressive covered thing.
Anytime somebody's like got a weird sexual thing, I'm just like, you just don't like sex. Why don't you just realize that? Like for me, I've never had to spice it up with a fucking costume, or I'm just glad to be there anytime. And it's the spirit of amateur sport. That's what enthuses. I can't believe I'm on the pitch. I can't believe I'm out here. I'm doing it. I can't believe the gaffer picked me. Yeah, exactly. I'm one of 11 lucky fellas. Yeah, I don't have to start changing the rules. Or like, okay, but sometimes we can use our hands and everyone's going to walk backwards. No, just play the game. Play the fucking game. Exactly. There's no need to attach things to my balls. No need for any of that. No need to split my cock in two all the way up to the root and then reattach it and stick things down it. Yeah. I mean, how much sex do you have to have had that you thought, what, this would be really great if somebody bunged up my flute? Yeah, I got one rule, and it's real clear. Don't slice my dick in two and put weird fucking fish hooks in it. Just, yeah. I'll go for a cuddle that gets randy. Yeah. That'll do. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because I like it. I like it. I've never had to go, oh, what if? No, there's no what if. It's always good.
But it's called second skin. It's like a second skin. Have you any idea what it's like to have two skins on? Yeah, I've done, as an Irishman, I've done a lot of dry riding. Yes. The first 10 years of anybody Irish's sex life is dry riding.
Yeah, and then he introduced a partner.
Well, Jacinta, you're going to love this.
Yeah, the worm was actually invented in Ireland. It was a form of Irish masturbation.
Form of Irish masturbation. The Archbishop says this one's okay.
A couple of priests come worming by.
Yeah, but this is so they've got him right for gimping around these.
Yeah.
I mean, was it the West Country or was it just the mask? It's so hard to know.
Yeah, they got the mask off. It was even more muffled.
That's how we knew, because we could understand it.
Yeah. Well, did you see also the...
There's some very specific rules.
Yeah, I wrote them down here. The judge said he's now banned from wearing a mask in public, which is going to hurt him if there's another lockdown. He's had quite a quandary there. Get your mask on. I'm really not allowed to.
Not anymore.
This was he must not crawl, wriggle, or writhe on the ground wearing a full body covering or a mask. And my God, that. Like, was he smiling when they started saying, like, you must not crawl, and he's like, I'll wriggle. You must not wriggle. Oh, I can still writhe. You must not writhe. No.
These are the three things that I love to do.
And no doing the worm. We know what you're doing.
If I can't writhe. What's the point? You know, the writhing is involuntary. Here, what have you been told? No writhing. But it wasn't really a writhe, it was more of a wriggle. That's also banned. You've been told in no uncertain terms. No wriggling, no writhing. There is a get-out clause. We're going to have a disco, 70s disco for charity, and there says nothing about the electric boogaloo. You could definitely do the boogaloo, but you can't wear all the gimpy stuff. You got to be dressed like somebody normal, you know, like a Morris dancer. You can do all that Morris dancing. Yeah. Interesting. Bit of a loophole. You can do with your cock out.
Yeah, and we were going to make you wear a bell anyway, so...
Right. We really feel like that's how we'll know. We can't keep an eye on you the whole time. But if you start ringing a bell, you're probably writhing. You're definitely wriggling. And you could be crawling.
Yeah, if I hear your leg bells, you're going back to jail.
Who'd done it if they pulled it off? Terry! But you're a pillar of the community. You're a leading Morris dancer. What's all this? What's all this big city business? You been up in Bristol again? Can't help myself.
Yeah, it's Banksy.
That's how they finally caught Banksy. After I've knocked out another rather cheesy visual joke.
Yeah.
Girls had to
We
go
caught
for a
the
balloon.
gimp painting a Mickey Mouse with an Uzi.
That's right. It's Donald Duck with an AK-47.
Oh, wow.
I think it says it all.
Gimpsy, you're so good. You're a genius.
That's how he keeps his identity secret. He wants to tell us, but he's in a cum guard. Yes, well.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose good luck to you, maybe, you gimp. I mean, it's so hard to tell a gimp off. They're already,
Yeah, well, and also they're enjoying it. Like even that sentencing, it was like, okay, get his hands where I can see him. We're gonna discipline him.
But the handcuffs on or off?
I don't know. Maybe take him somewhere nice, and that's his punishment. Why are you doing this to me?
Why am I in the National Portrait Gallery?
Oh, what I would give to be eating feces right now.
Well, you've got organic carrot cake.
No.
Sit still and eat your organic carrot cake while looking at this fucking masterpiece by Turner. Turner's probably not. Whatever. Maybe
Don't matter. No one's going to look into it, Andrew.
No, I hope not. I hope people don't realise how little I know about art. That would be embarrassing at the dinner party.
Oh,
in my head, the fictional dinner party.
Yeah.
You're
still at that thing?
Still waiting for the Volivons. It's the name of my second memoir.
Chapter 9.
Still
They've
waiting.
arrived.
Gimps. Fucking hell. Weird, you never get a gimp gathering. You know the way everybody does that now.
There's a Comic-Con of gimps.
Yeah. You know the way. Maybe there probably is. Probably I just haven't plugged into the gimp subculture enough. But you know what I mean. You've got the largest gathering of redheads in the world is in Netherlands, and then there's the largest gathering of Smurfs was recently in Ireland.
I wondered where you went.
There was a lot of Smurfs. I tell you what, Jesus Christ.
Or the weekend of giant Smurfs, as you called it.
Medium height. Papa Smurf still got a lot to say.
I had a thought about this. Does Papa Smurf spawn all the Smurfs through Smurfette and then they just die out? Or does Papa Smurf have sex with Smurfette, spawns all the Smurfs, and then one Smurf sort of Highlanders into the next Papa?
Oh, I think you've thought too much about it.
Yeah.
I think we need to get you a court order.
What was I gonna ride? Amongst my Smurfs.
Blue.
Oh, they won't be.
So close to death. I see the necrosis is setting in. You lovely little French woodland creatures. Or Belgium, whatever.
Yeah. That's not the important part.
The bit is that you're so close. So close to
Can I look in your eyes when it happens, please?
Oh, your little hat's fallen off.
Wonderful.
Well, wonderful. Thanks, Gimp.
Yeah. Yeah.
And more importantly, fair play to the community for gathering around and getting rid of you fucking tedious fuck.
Yeah. Nice gimp catching, West Country.
Oh, I'd struggle not to fucking hit a gimp with a car. You know what I mean?
Well, you'd have a perfect story, too. Like, why didn't you see him? Well, he was dressed all in black.
At night.
Yeah, but why were you driving in a basement? I thought I saw a gimp.
Yeah. I managed to get my car down there. Anyway, well, hopefully you learned your lesson, Gimp.
Yeah.
We're not judging you. It's just Gimps, like many things. It's time and a place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Basements for you.
Stay
Gimp.
in the basements, Gimps.
Yes.
Stay in the basements.
Don't be.
And not mine.
Yes. Well, number one, you haven't got one. You have to dig one out for the Gimp.
There's a lot of things you don't know about me.
As you wish. As a veil is discreetly drawn over it. Let me bring you this one. This is a cracker.
Oh, wow.
I don't think we've actually covered my island for a while.
No.
So there is, relatively speaking, it took a long time for a far-right anti-immigrant party to start in Ireland. What we're up to about 15 years ago, there was still, if you tried to illegally or legally emigrate into Ireland, you would have been trampled to death by the Irish people leaving at the airport. We're traditionally an export market of human beings.
Yeah.
Not importers. But as we've got richer and richer over the last 15, 20 years, we now have people from the rest of the world. You know, traditionally in Ireland, we're more of a sectarianism rather than a racism island.
Yeah.
For those people who don't know, sectarianism is basically white on white racism.
Yeah.
You see, up to 15 years ago, we didn't have anybody
And
else.
everyone can play.
Yes. Well, if you're white. You're not welcome. If you're not actually, you and your people have not lived in Ireland for a good 400 years, you're not welcome in the sectarianism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know you know this about sectarianism. It's quite bigoted by its nature.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's basically up to 15 years ago, we didn't have anybody else to be actually racist to. But we had all the necessary hatred in our hearts. So we basically split ourselves into two teams and just practiced for the last 400 years.
And what practicing you've done.
Boy, oh boy, when those Nigerian taxi drivers finally showed up.
Well.
They could tell they weren't dealing with amateurs. We hit the ground running when it came to, race prejudice.
Yeah.
So now we finally got ourselves a far-right anti-immigrant party. They're called the National Party. And these are still very much on the fringes, right? They're not getting elected anytime soon.
Yeah.
But because traditionally the flag shaggers in Ireland gravitate towards Sinn Féin, whose political antecedents is more far left politics, certainly since the late 60s.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I believe you. Why would you make it up?
Yeah, exactly. It's boring. We're talking about prejudice. So let's get to the fun bit.
Yeah.
So this National Party, this week, it turns out they've had a big set to. The far right are always splitting into, you know what I mean? As is the nature. If what draws you together is hatred of your fellow human beings,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That can lead to very tense committee meetings.
Oh, yeah.
Because you all hate people.
Yeah. Trying
all
to find
hate-
out a list of what you hate about people, and then you're arguing about what goes where, and then all of a sudden, there's lists about each other, and there you go.
And next thing, there's two Nazi parties. Very hard. You know what I mean? Very hard to get people together when they hate people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's been a split in the party, and it's all come out that they've been stolen. Most political parties, they get donations and then they open a bank account and they keep that money in it.
That's how it's done, yeah. Traditionally, for the last couple hundred years. Yeah.
They've had a bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a treasurer and, and whatnot. This lot don't believe in fiat currencies.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Turns out they had kept all their money in gold.
Smart.
They get a lot of shit the far right, but that's clever.
When the whole world collapses, we'll be in charge of the Irish government. It's like, well, is the world collapsing, or like, why would you try and take power if you think that like it's all going to collapse and you're going to need gold? Nobody's going to care who the prime or the Taoiseach is.
That's right. You could just shove it all into your mouths and just go to the ethnic paradise that is Leitrim. I don't know what the fuck. But I read this and I was like, wow, that's a crazy story. I wonder if it's true, because there is, there's an awful lot of back and forward between the far left and far right in the world. They could all, you know what I mean? It's going to be haters hating on haters, whether it's true. No, it's true, all right. 400 grand's worth of gold.
Wow.
That's what they were storing in their office. Gold! Gold, Mr. Bond!
Has there been any missing leprechauns reported?
Again, sad to say, apparently they weren't originally Irish. So. The latest DNA test we've done on the leprechauns. They're quarter Turkish. So we're really torn over. I mean, people say that they were actually Hellenistic Turks. So does that put them into the European family of fictional shit? Or
for the sake of the party, let's say the leprechauns are at least European, and
they're an Indo-European leprechaun, but their shoes are quite curly.
yeah, we're still going to keep our eyes on them.
Oh, we're watching those leprechauns. One false move and you're on the plane. You're on the plane back to Leprechonia?
Yeah, somewhere.
Somewhere. As long as you're off island this problem. But that's it. These far right lunatics were storing gold like bigoted leprechauns. And there's, we've got quite a lot of quite Antifa types in Ireland, and they've been pushing and shoving each other in the streets and whatnot. But I can tell you, all they need to do is just wait till it's sunshine and showers, and then just follow the fuckers home. Gold.
Yeah, but then stealing it from each other too.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
It's
just pretty gollumy.
trying to trick people to bring their gold. Yeah, we'll all hide our gold in here because that's what the Nazi party would like,
Storing our gold. We're just pretending to be Switzerland. What you mean, neutral, evil, and quite resistant to the pleas of other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. What's your Nazis get up to? Bet they don't store gold.
Every once in a while they go to Ottawa and complain about vaccines.
We're kind of more into the honking our trucks. We honk our trucks.
Yeah.
For a month-long
Canadian
honk-off.
gold. Trucker honks.
Trucker honking. Can't melt it down. Nobody can catch you. That's right. All they can do is steal our hunks. But seeing as how we're all hunks, if you look around here, it's pretty much all hunkies. So good luck with that, buddy. You cut down one hunky, another hunker will just re-emerge.
A lot of us just were created from the sound of those honks. That's how
right.
big of honkies we are.
That's how you make us. One long, clear blow. Next thing, there's 3 more guys called Gordo.
Yeah.
That's how the people out in the Great Prairies. It all happens on the last night of the Calgary Stampede. Day 5, Honky Fest.
You get yourself a belly full of pancakes and you start honking your horn. And there's a Papa Honk and there's a Honkette. And then,
there's Brains. We don't let him too much.
yeah, he's been kicked out of the
He doesn't honk a lot. Wears too much glasses.
Yeah.
I told him, you keep wearing those glasses, you're gonna look like you're from Montreal, eh?
Oh, Jesus.
That's right, buddy.
Well,
You're gonna look like you're putting cheese on your potatoes.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't pull your shirt over your head and tell you what's what. Huh?
Huh? I mean, all I know is that your eyes went properly glazed over there. I don't know what any of that was. Well, it's weird in Canada. Not like normal in Ireland.
No.
Where the minute foreigners start showing up, we start hoarding gold. Here they come. They're coming for the gold. And you know what? They're disgusting. They're the racists.
Yeah.
Do you know what they say? They say we're leprechauns that hoard the gold. Well, we'll fucking show them.
Yeah.
Who's hoarding gold? We are. I mean, no. 400 grand worth of gold.
That's what everybody comes to Ireland for. All the gold. That's where you go. That's where it comes from.
That's where exactly it is. Well, it's where wishes are made. And by that I mean, can I have another pint after that? Wish granted. Thank you very much, foreign barman that doesn't know the rules of the land. I wished for another pint after lockdown and I got it fucking out of you. Still not happy out here. Don't look me in the eye and don't mention the G word. We're hoarding gold for the fucking apocalypse.
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course. That's what people will want. Not bread.
No.
Gold.
Yeah, you can't really hoard bread though. That's a bad idea for a different reason.
Nope. Safe up in that corn silo. That's where you want it.
Yeah.
Or corn. You make bread from corn. What are we making bread from these days? Wheat.
Yeah.
Grain.
Traditionally, yeah.
Grain.
There is cornbread though, but we've gotten a little off topic.
I think we have. I think we were busy taking the piss out of the far right of Ireland, and now we're discussing cornbread.
Yeah, recipes.
Which only goes to show how boring you are.
Yeah,
that's what we're gonna say. It's not your offensive fucking half-baked opinions.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you're so dull. We're now discussing cornbread.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Well, let that be a lesson to you, far right of Ireland.
Right.
Not that you're ever going to show up at any of my gigs. Because I don't accept gold at the door. Actually, I would. I would.
Yeah, for a bar of gold, you can sit up front.
Jesus. Some of the nasty corporates I've done in my time. Jesus. You can
two bars of gold.
2 bars of gold and I'll fucking dress up. as an ethnically white Hiberno Irish leprechaun.
I'll hand out your shitty awards. I'll do it all. 2 bars of gold.
For 2 bars of gold. Now, let me leave you on this one. Here's a happy note. Just a de-sour a mouth. I was listening to a documentary about Walt Disney.
Okay.
Right? Okay. When the first he put all his money on Snow White working as a movie.
Yeah,
put everything on that. Everything was riding on it. He even hawked the rights to Mickey Mouse.
Wow.
Right? Which originally was going to be called Mortimer Mouse. Mm-hmm. Right? And then his wife went, no. You're going to give it a tougher name. So the two of them agreed that he should have a tough Irish name, and that's why he's called Mickey. Yeah. So people could relate to him.
Something that means penis in Ireland.
Yeah, sure it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust me.
Mouse Mickey.
You see the Mickey on that mouse. It's not Mickey Mouse, I can tell you that. But when he won, they gave him, because it was such a smash hit, Snow White. Huge hit. It was the first ever feature-length animated movie. And they gave him a special Oscar. Right, he was given a special Oscar award and 7 little Oscars.
Oh.
That's nice, isn't it?
Yes.
That's a nice touch. It's the only time it's ever happened. You get a full-size Oscar and then 7 little dwarf Oscars.
Well, good. Yeah. I thought that was going to be another Nazi story, to be honest.
No, I just tried to de-Nazi the conversation, and then I realised I was talking about
Yeah. Let's get every Nazi out of this conversation, because I want to talk about Walt Disney.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is to the far right of Ireland, if you're going to have those views, at least make children happy.
Exactly. Well,
you know what? I seem to be becoming the lead Eejit in the story.
You're trying your ass off, and you're just digging a bigger hole.
Hopefully towards the gold, the gold of white Irish pride. That's this week's Eejits of the world.
Yes, well done. Well done, Maxwell.
And well done to the Eejits.
Yes. You all really stepped up this week.
That's an absolute gold mine.
And it's been a Pod People production.
This has been a Pod People production.
Pod People production.
meatball.